Code explained says hi. So today we're going to style our app, we're going to style the sidebar, and we're going to style our main, and then style our user component. Until now our React app is looking ugly. Okay, we're gonna fix that in a minute. And go to the code explained repo on GitHub, and in there you're gonna find our project. Go into it, and then we have here our parts. So now we are in part 4. You must have the files from the part 3. So if you don't have them already, go into this folder, copy the link, and then go to down-git and paste the link and download. Once you downloaded the file, you're gonna download it as a zip. Go into your folder and then run a command from there, npm install. After that, you're gonna be good to go. So let's close these, and then I'm gonna go into my React app, and then let's go into our VS Code. From the app.js, I made a mistake, the last part. It's just a typo. I will need to name this sidebar. So this must be sidebar, not header. It's just not a big deal, but it's better to call it sidebar. So I will need to go and call this sidebar, and then from inside of it I'm gonna call this sidebar, and that's it. So we're good to go now. So inside our app.js we have our dev app here, or the dev with the class name app is a parent element, and then inside we have two elements, the sidebar and the main. So these are two children's. We want the sidebar to be in the left and the main in the right. So I'm gonna use a display flex on this dev here. So let's go to our app.css, and then I'm gonna say here all the stars for the app. So I'm gonna go and say app. It's gonna be display flex. So if I hit save, you can see now our sidebar is in the left, our main is to the right. Now I'm gonna go and set the width of my app to 100 viewport width, and the height to 100 viewport height. So my app will like cover the whole window of the user's browser. And now I don't need any scroll bars there, so I'm gonna set the overflow to hidden. Now let's go to our sidebar, component. So for our sidebar, it's gonna be, I'm gonna use a background color, so I don't go. Yeah, that's working. Now you can see that we have some margins here, so I'm gonna go and add the style for all the elements. I'm gonna set the padding to 0, the margin to 0, and that's good. And I'm gonna use the box sizing to border box, so this will take in mind the borders also and the patterns when calculating the size of the boxes. Now it's gonna be the font family, right? The font family. I'm gonna go and get that from Google, so I'm gonna search for fonts, and from there I'm gonna search for Ubuntu, and this one here I'm gonna go and choose Light 300, select the style. I'm gonna use import and then copy this line of code. And now I'm gonna close this. I will go to my VS Code inside my app.css. I'm gonna paste that code from there. So now I'm gonna go here and say Ubuntu, the font we just grabbed, and then sans serif. So now you can see that the font has changed. Now inside our sidebar, I'm just gonna go and get rid of that color. I'm gonna say the width and set it to 300 pixels, I guess. Okay, then the mean width, so the main width is gonna be 200 pixels. So when the user, for example, goes and shrink this down, I don't want my sidebar to go to less than the 210 pixels in the width. So the height gonna be 100% of the parent's height, and I think that's set. Now let's go to the main, to our main component. So it's gonna be main, and then the background is gonna be an image. So the images I'm gonna be using are in this folder here. You can find them in the repo. So I'm gonna go into the source. I'm gonna copy 2 images there, the background image. You can use your images, by the way, and the logo. So you can go, and I can go now and copy it into my source folder, and now it's here, it's somewhere, I don't see it. So it's in my folder, it should appear into source component. Yeah, it's there. So it's in the source folder, images. I'm gonna go and say images, then the background color. If I hit save, you can see there. Now I'm gonna set the width of this to 100%. Yep, that's good. Now I'm gonna set the height to 100% too. And then I'm gonna go and say background repeat. I'm gonna say no repeat, and then the background size is gonna be cover, not contain, it's gonna be cover, and that's good. Now because I'm using these properties here, I must say here image, the background image. So now this is our main, this is the sidebar. If I scroll this down, you could see that this sidebar doesn't shrink too much. The main width is 210 pixels. Now let's go and create the JSX for our user component. So from here, it's gonna be a div with the class name logo, and inside it's gonna be an image with the source. It's gonna be a logo. We're just gonna create that, and an alternative which is gonna say logo, and then here it's gonna be a div with the class name info, and there's gonna be just a paragraph that says the name of the user, code explain, and then here it's gonna be just a link. It's gonna lead nowhere, and it's gonna say log out, and we're good. So the logo isn't defined, so we're gonna go and import our logo from, so it's in the image. We need to go up one time, go to our images, and then I'm gonna select the logo, .jpg. That's it. Now you can see the logo there. And now let's go and style these. So I'm gonna go to the app.css and I'm gonna go here and then add the style for the user. So I'm gonna say that user, and of course I'm gonna set the style to or to display property to flex, and that's good. And I need to align items to center. I want to align them vertically. That's good. And I want to justify content, so I'm gonna use space around or space between. It's the same thing. I'm just gonna use space around. Okay, that's good. And I'm gonna add some padding there. I'm gonna say 1 rem for the padding, and we're good. I'm gonna add a border to the bottom, so it's gonna be a 1 pixel solid, and the color is gonna be EB, and that's good. So if I take a look on the other one, we're good. Now I'm gonna go to the user, then that logo, then the image. I'm gonna set its width to 50 pixels. Okay, if I go back there, you can see that it's almost looking the same. Now if I want to add a border, I'm gonna say border radius 50 pixels, and then the border is gonna be a 1 pixel solid. The color is gonna be black, and that's good. I don't know. Okay, that's good. Now let's go and style our user that info p. I'm gonna set the font size to 1.1 rem and the font weight to bold. Okay, if I go back, now you can see that they are looking almost the same. Now we're just gonna go and style our link, the user dot info a. It's gonna be text decoration none. Save. Okay, I'm gonna go here so you could see it there. So now I'm gonna display this as a flex, and then I'm gonna say justify content flex end. So I want the logout to be at the far right here. So if I click that, you could see it there, and we're good. So they almost look the same way. So that's it for this part, and in the next one we're going to create this, the add new to do component. So thanks for watching. See you in the next part. Take care.